Hey, what's up, guys? It's been jamming back. I'm looking at the Prusa Slicer now. I'm going to go through a little tutorial today on how to set up your printer for the Prusa Slicer. When you download the slicing software, you go ahead and you log in and you immediately come to this page. Once you get through the download and you open up the program, it's going to look like this. It'll immediately pop up this window. This is this is the very first thing you'll see is this window in here. So you've got your welcome page. You come in to log in. You go ahead. You can. This is an optional thing. You can log into to your Prusa account. I've got one. I'm not logged in for it right now. I just got a new computer, so I haven't set up a lot of things on here. But I'm not logged in. But I do have a profile for it. I would say if you're saving any parameters, you're definitely going to want your Prusa account so you can save all your features that you've got set up. Currently, I'm not doing that. I just want to go through this video with you right now. Go to the next page here. It's going to ask you for configuration sources. I'm going to leave these all checked. I don't really need the Prusa printers or anything like that, but I'm going to go ahead and go through this process. I won't do anything with those. We're just going to go through this window to the next. You'll see here it's gonna take you into this. So this is all the MK families that they've got on here, so the Prusa research stuff. I don't have a Prusa printer, but if that's the printer that you went with, you're gonna want to go through this list and go ahead and check the box. I like to go ahead and check all the nozzle sizes that you think you're going to use, even if you don't think you'll use their 0.25 or 0.35 millimeter or 0.3 millimeter nozzles. You'll definitely want to check a couple of them. Eventually you might get into it and you might want to bump up the nozzles that you use, and it's easier to go ahead and have them there ready to go rather than switch them out and then have to come back into this window to do it. You're going to have a little bit more loading screens, and you're going to have to refine this printer in this long list that they've got. I'm going to go ahead and set up my Ender 3 on here, so I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and skip this page. I just want everything to not be checked because I won't be using it. Now you have your SLA printer, so you've got the two Prusa SL printers. So this is for if you wound up not going with the FDM printers and you went this route, you'll want to go ahead and check them here. I don't have this printer. I'm still looking through, so I'm going to go to next. Now, so it's got all of these other vendors supported by Prusa. So I've gotten Creality Ender 3, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Creality. If you chose from any other brand here, you'll want to check this box, and it'll go ahead and pull up the printers for you on this next page. I go ahead and check, see Anchor Make. I've got Anchor Make right there on this next window. Anything that I go ahead and select, it's going to go ahead and add. But for now, I'm just doing the Creality Ender 3, so I'll go to the next page here. As you can see, I've got the original Creality Ender 3, so I'm going to go ahead and check all of these nozzles. I actually have a 0.8 nozzle. I've also had a 0.2 nozzle at one point, but I don't regularly use them. I only use the 0.3 to 0.6, so that's good enough for me. But I'm going to go ahead and check all of these boxes so that I've got it ready to go. You can go through the rest of the Creality list, but there's nothing that I really need from the list. It's just that Ender 3. So I'll go ahead and go to next. You're going to see it's got other SLA printers. You've got custom printers in the settings. I'm not looking to do any custom. You've got different filaments you use, so if you want to get into more detail on your filament, you can go ahead and do that. I only use the PLA for my Ender, so I only have the generic PLA listed on here. If you really want to go with a name brand filament, you can go ahead and put in like the exact thing. It should update your parameters to be according to that filament. So if you use Creality PLA all the time, you definitely want to go ahead and check that box and have it always use the Creality PLA. For right now, I always just do generic PLA. I always go with one of the cheapest options that they've got. So I like to I print more I print volume, so I go with the cheaper PLA, and I like to use some different colors. I've used the wood PLA, and I seem to get by with all of that all in the generic PLA format. Sometimes I got to tweak the numbers, but that's not too difficult on here. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead and finish from here. You can go ahead and go through the rest of the list, but there's nothing really else to really go through. So I'm going to hit finish. It'll take you to this screen, and now what you see on your right side, you'll see your layer heights that you can choose. You got your 0.4 nozzle on here for all of these. So your print settings, you've got your PLA. I've got my generic PLA in my system set here. I've got my printer. I've got the 0.3 millimeter, 0.4 millimeter, 0.5, and 0.6 millimeter nozzles. So it's got all of that information in there. If you ever have to add or remove your printer, you can go here and go ahead and it'll reload this opening configuration wizard. So you'll wind up having to go through that same list again. It should pull up here. It takes a little bit to load. You can see you pull that up again. So if you ever need to add nozzles that you don't have, or you have a different printer, you have another printer or an updated model that you've got, you can go ahead and go back to this list again. Don't worry if you have to. I've done it plenty of times. It's not too bad. But there's setting up your first printer on your Prusa slicing software. I will say the Prusa Slicer is a little more difficult than the Ultimaker. Ultimaker Cura. Ultimaker Cura is a little more user-friendly when it comes to starting out. Bamboo Handy is a little more difficult than Ultimaker, but it's about equivalent to Prusa, I would say. You get a lot more features in Prusa than you do in the Ultimaker Cura. I've done a lot more things with the Prusa Slicer than I've been able to with the Ultimaker Cura. But that is all I've got for you today. Please subscribe my videos. It helps me out on my channel. And happy printing. I'll see you guys later. Bye.